So a couple of ways that a liquid can go into the gas phase include evaporation or boiling point, and that's what this video is about. Let's talk about the difference between the two. So in a nutshell, I would say the main difference between a liquid that is evaporating versus a liquid that has reached its boiling point is where that transition is taking place. For evaporation, like you can see in the picture in the lower corner, evaporation happens only on the surface. Whereas once a liquid reaches its boiling point, the entire liquid has reached the potential to go into that gas phase. And usually when something starts boiling, you'll notice bubbles that start to appear throughout that liquid. There is always gas pressure, whether it's on us, whether it's on liquids, like you see here in this picture. Imagine in this picture you've got a pot of water. Well, if you don't turn the heat on, eventually, over a long period of time, that water can evaporate out of the pot. And there's gas pressure on top of that all at the same time. So evaporation is a very slow process. Whereas once a liquid reaches its boiling point, those bubbles that you see occurring, those are bubbles that are actually overcoming the pressure on top of the liquid. Now they contain more pressure and they can actually escape from the liquid phase. So again, evaporation, very slow process, only takes place on the surface level. Those surface level particles can actually get enough energy that they go to the gas phase. But during that boiling point, the entire liquid has enough energy that it can overcome atmospheric pressure and go into the gas phase. I also want you to notice the number of particles on top of each one of those pictures. There are a lot more gas particles on top of the boiling substance. So over on the left, you can see a comparison. Boiling, of course, only occurs once it reaches its boiling point, but evaporation can happen at a much lower temperature. Like I'm sure you've noticed a puddle that can evaporate even during cold temperatures. Boiling occurs throughout the liquid, whereas evaporation is only surface level. Boiling can happen very quickly compared to evaporation, which is a relatively slow process. And during boiling, temperature remains constant until that entire phase change has occurred. Whereas evaporation causes cooling because heat is actually absorbed from the surrounding environment. I hope that helps clarify the difference between what happens when a liquid evaporates versus what happens when a liquid reaches its boiling point.